You've been listening to a series of broadcasts over the last couple weeks about George P. Fanala's father, who was, again, as the title stated, from here to hell and back again. Thank you for listening to our broadcast, and it's quiet, light music here to calm and soothe the soul. As you know, we have been doing a quite extensive interview with George P. Fanala, and the story really came together as I listened intently about what George had gone through as a child. He was labeled because his father was sent to a place called Farview for the criminally insane. It turns out there's an extensive report that was published by Sage Publishing, Joseph Jacoby, who's a criminologist and, well, not criminologist, but writes books on criminology. And it's called A Worst Case Scenario. And I'm going to share you a little bit about some of the notes in the story and how the Department of Justice had gotten involved. And there's a reference number. If you want to look up the information yourself, by all means, we'll put the link below so you can help us bring this to a close. This is a very powerful story about George Stephen Fanala, who basically was housed in a program that was basically fronting and it was using prisoners for all types of activities that were outside of law. When we talk about prison inmates, we think of somebody who's gone to court, who's been acquitted, or gone to, some type of court system to receive to go through sentencing. That is not what happened. All the prisoners were sent away into mental ill because they were, quote, mentally ill. Do you notice today how everything's done by big pharma and big psychiatric industry? Well, in this case, that's what's been going on. Pennsylvania is plagued with a problem. Everyone has a psychological disorder and you need medical treatment. That has been the mentality of this system in which we deal with. And I want to tell you the story about Farview Hospital, how there were so many counts of murder and death that occurred there that it involved the Department of Justice, and it was closed in 1995. And then they resurfaced and they wanted to reopen as CSI Waymart. Waymart is a correctional institution. But yet the movie in the stories that you want to see, this is the kind of movie and story that we're trying to get at least get some acknowledgement by the actors and actresses in Hollywood. Thank God for Thousand Oaks, California. For those of you at Sage Publishing, thank you. Thank you for bringing this story and this research and this report together. Because in 2002, this research and report was done and completed and documented at the the Department of Justice. And that is really the meat of the story, is that when you see the articles and links below, you'll see why it is we want this to be filmed as a movie. It's almost, in a lot of ways, a landmark case that never got heard. It's hard to understand the level of depravity of a man. And when we talk about cold storage, that it would be a movie. Cold storage would be a movie about men who were horrifically tortured and tormented and mistreated. When we talk about torment and torture, we're talking about man's inhumanity to man. So, well, I want to tell you what's going on legally about the Justice for Victims, a monument, a place to go in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, after talking to the representative's office. That's just the beginning of this story. And then to see a landmark TV broadcast movie about what happened in Honesdale at Farview Hospital. So it doesn't happen in Pennsylvania or anywhere else ever again. A place where they humiliated the little children of the sons and daughters of the family members and all the people involved that were humiliated through the process. It was a humiliating ordeal to go through. And I can't wait till we have some really good people, companies, movie companies that filmed the movie Cold Storage themselves. It is also archived in the Chicago Museum, and it was interviewed by WFMT, and it's worth. First of all, it's such a powerful story that really I don't even know how to start telling you guys how long it's taken us to get to the point that we're at now. The name of the author, I have to get that article. But really, let's get back to cold storage. The story of cold storage is about Farview Hospital. How many people were humiliated and literally left for dead, lobotomy, no big deal. This is why we don't want the psychiatric industry to be in charge of the criminal justice system. And we want justice to be served at the Department of Justice, and we want our senators and our representatives to hear us loud and clear that tranquilizing victims, tranquilizing people to the point of death is unacceptable. And it's been going on in a lot of hospitals, including most of our hospitals and our prisons are involved in some kind of form of tranquilizing somebody. And we want it to stop. We want it to stop right now. And the district and the Justice Department is going to hold each of these people accountable at some point, I believe. Because you know what? There's so many victims, there's so many families, and it's tiresome to go through this. Thank you for listening to my broadcast, and more from the Department of Justice information below, that you can research this topic yourself on cold storage and Farview Hospital and the programs that house mentally ill and how to get help. If you get help, I promise you, it'll be worth everything to you and your family and your friends. You do not have to live with a stigma and be labeled the way that a lot of you have been labeled. A lot of people are labeled with these mental disorders and they're not even mentally ill. So please support us by supporting our program and our broadcasts, and more on the story of cold storage that we want to see. I really hope that in California, that the person that we left a message for over Icon Pictures, that they write or maybe even produce the manuscript for cold storage so that it gets on the movie screen. It's a landmark case. Very powerful story, by the way. If you continue to listen to our broadcast, you'll find out firsthand. George's story is powerful. Thank you for listening to the broadcast.